Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and today I'm going to talk to you all about why I believe that Doom is one of the most important, if not the most important game to be released on the Nintendo Switch. Now, let me just preface this by saying that I don't think that Doom is the absolute best game on the Nintendo Switch, or that it's better than Super Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild or anything like that. I'm just saying that in some lights it is the most important. That's not to say it's the best. Just want to make that clear. I don't think anybody really expected Doom to be announced for the Nintendo Switch. I mean, you know, it was released in 2016, and I'm not suggesting people had forgotten about it, but at the same time, with things like Wolfenstein 2 coming out and all that sort of thing, it wasn't really at everyone's forefront. Also, I'll be honest, I didn't think that the Switch would be able to run Doom in any kind of capacity, you know, sort of even stripping it all away and leave it as the same game, essentially. But they have managed it. I mean, yes, it is running at 720p at 30 frames a second. But at the same time, this is a current-gen game from a current-gen system that is not the Nintendo Switch, which is kind of its own generation in its own weird way. Basically, what I'm saying, it's a game that's come from the Xbox One and the PS4 and the PC that is, you know, powerful enough to run on those, and they've managed to get it onto a Switch. It is no small feat by any regard, and Panic Button and Bethesda have done an incredible job getting this game to run. And even with all the sacrifices they've made, the game is essentially exactly the same in terms of content as the Xbox One and PS4 version, which is just frankly incredible. Yes, you know, the textures are downscaled and all that sort of thing, and yes, it doesn't look quite as pretty because it's not as high resolution and blah 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 blah, but you know what, from a distance, it's not that easy to tell the two apart. Of course, if you are really sensitive, you've got an analytical eye, and you're sensitive to frame rate changes and stuff like that, then you will notice that there is obviously a difference, because there is a difference. But to the average person, just, you know, picking up and playing Doom, they're not going to go, wow, this version looks terrible in comparison. Because unless you put them side by side, it really is not that easy to tell. When I picked it up for the first time, I played the original Doom, you know, to death. I played hours and hours and hours on it on my Xbox One. It's one of the few games I've actually played on it. And then when I played it on the Switch, I remember looking at it and thinking, well, yeah, it's not quite as crisp and the frame rate is half, but honestly, I couldn't really notice any major differences, and that is a big, big thing. And of course, then I went back and played the Xbox One version, and yes, you know, there's higher fidelity and all that sort of thing, but even so, it looks phenomenal. And I've been talking far too much about the graphics. The reason that this is one of the most important games on the Switch is the fact that it is one of these, you know, sort of quote-unquote current-gen games that has been on the PS4, has been on the Xbox One, and it has been ported to the Switch, and it works beautifully, which basically means third parties no longer have an excuse. Well, no excuse beyond ineptitude or laziness. What Bethesda, id, and Panic Button have shown is that you can get these games running on Nintendo's system. It won't look as good, it won't perform quite as well, but you can get them to run, and you can make the experience just as enjoyable, which means that all of these third parties that in the past have been saying, oh no, we can't possibly do it on the Switch, it's simply not powerful, you know, is just simply not really the case. I mean, it may well be that there are certain games that require lots of, you know, processing power and stuff like that, but I reckon with enough optimization they could probably get it to run. It may look like arse, but they could get it to run. And if Doom happens to be a success, which fingers crossed it will, because it really, really deserves it, then we could be seeing all sorts of games in the future running on the Switch that, you know, 5 months ago we would never have dreamed of, like Assassin's Creed. I'm not sure I really care about Assassin's Creed. But things like The Evil Within, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, these are all games that are now viable on the Nintendo Switch, and it has just opened up tremendous doors, and Bethesda have basically stood up and said, it can be done. When are you going to do it? And what's even arguably more exciting is the fact that recently Xbox boss Phil Spencer, I think it's Phil, I'm pretty sure it's Phil Spencer, came out saying that Microsoft are not discounting bringing first-party exclusive titles for the Xbox One to other platforms in the future. Basically, I think the Xbox One is kind of not performing as well as they'd like, and so I think they may be looking to sort of go almost third party. Basically what some people have been saying Nintendo should do for years, but they shouldn't. So that means that we could be playing things like Halo 6 and maybe even Forza Motorsport and the old classic Rare games on our Nintendo Switch. Imagine playing Banjo-Kazooie on the Nintendo Switch and it'd actually be portable. That's exciting! Unfortunately, of course, this is all speculation and there is no confirmation that loads more third parties will be supporting the Switch beyond the ones that already have said they will be, which is still quite a lot, but it's not all of them. And ideally, I think what everyone would want to see is that the Switch becomes like just a third pillar in the Xbox One, PS4, Switch, right in the middle, or even to the side. It doesn't matter where it is in terms of pillars, because all pillars are equal. But so that third parties will treat the Switch in the same way that they treat the Xbox One and the PS4, and they see it and they go, okay, yeah, well, we'll probably need to support the Switch as well, because that's our massive market. Get down to the dev team and let's downscale this sucker. That doesn't mean that these other third parties are going to have all the skills necessary to do what Panic Button and Bethesda and id have done for Doom to bring it to the Nintendo Switch. It may well be that we will get some lazy ports that will run poorly and will generally be inferior versions that will deliver inferior entertainment, which Doom does not do, despite all the graphical... The Switch has been a tremendous success, and we are starting to see some really, really strong third-party support. But the proof of the pudding is going to be in the eating. We're not going to know until the future, which is annoying, but at the same time, it's kind of exciting. It leaves things a little bit exciting, a little bit sort of unpredictable, and there's enjoyment to be had in that as well. But what do you think? Do you think that the third parties are going to support the Switch properly, or are they just going to ignore it like the Wii U, or just release some sort of like dodgy, specific Switch versions of games like they did with the Wii? Look at Call of Duty. Let us know down there in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you go to hell with that subscribe button? That's a Doom reference for you fans out there. And be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.